The Mince Tarte. It's just one of those iconic flavors of the holiday season, isn't it? That buttery, flaky crust, that rich, spiced, fruity filling. But have you ever really stopped to think about this little treat? This Christmas staple has a really surprising and, yeah, a meaty past that most of us know nothing about. So today we're going to pull it apart piece by piece and really get to know this holiday classic.
So here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with its pretty wild history. Then we'll dive right into the heart of the tart, the mincemeat itself. After that, we'll figure out how to build the perfect pastry case, play with some festive finishing touches, and wrap it all up with the best ways to serve this thing.
All right, first up, we are heading way back in time. We're going to uncover the origins of this little pie, and trust me, its story has some twists and turns you probably won't see coming.
Okay, let's just get right to the elephant in the room, the question that stumps pretty much everyone. If we call it a mincemeat tart, where in the world is the meat?
While the name is actually a massive clue, believe it or not, this all goes back to medieval times. Crusaders were coming back from the Middle East with these incredible recipes that mixed meat with fruit and spices. The English thought, hey, that's a great idea, and adapted it. It was a genius way to preserve meat before refrigeration without having to use tons of salt or smoke.
I mean, look at this journey. It's incredible how much this pie has changed. It started out as this huge, savory, meaty main course. Then, and this is my favorite part, in the 1600s, it was actually banned by Oliver Cromwell for being too festive and gluttonous. Can you imagine? Over the years, the meat slowly disappeared, the pie got smaller, and it morphed into the sweet, single-serving treat that we all know today.
Okay, so now that we know its wild history, what's actually going on inside the modern version? Let's dive into the filling, because that's really the heart and soul of the whole thing.
Today's mincemeat is just this glorious explosion of flavors and textures. You've got this deep, chewy base of dried fruits, raisins, sultanas, currants. Then, for a bit of brightness and a little bite, you add fresh, tart apples like a Granny Smith. You get that amazing aromatic kick from citrus peel and all those warm spices. And then you bring it all together with some rich brown sugar, a little crunch from almonds, and of course, a very generous splash of brandy or sherry. So, the big question, do you make it from scratch or just buy a jar? Look, homemade is amazing. You have total control, and letting it age for a few weeks makes the flavor just incredible. But let's be real, the holidays are chaos. Store-bought is a fantastic shortcut. And here is a brilliant pro tip from the sources. You can totally doctor up a store-bought jar. Just stir in some fresh diced apple, some citrus zest, maybe some chopped apricots. It makes a world of difference, seriously.
All right, so you've got this incredible filling. But a great filling deserves an equally great home to live in, right? So let's talk about building that perfect, flaky, buttery pastry case.
Ah, yes, the two most feared words in all of baking. A soggy bottom. It's every baker's nightmare. You put in all that work, you pull out a beautiful tart, and the bottom is pale and soft. Devastating. But don't you worry, there are some really clever tricks to make sure your crust is perfectly crisp every single time.
And here is a practically foolproof method that, get this, doesn't even require blind baking. So first, you preheat a baking tray right in the oven. When you put your tart tin directly on that super hot surface, it gives the bottom of the pastry an immediate blast of heat, which helps it set up really fast. You bake it a little lower so the top doesn't burn before the bottom is cooked. You prick the base so it doesn't puff up, and the final key, get it out of the tin and onto a wire rack to cool so steam can escape. It is a total game changer. No more soggy bottoms. Okay, we are so close. The filling is ready, the pastry is perfect. Now for the crowning glory, the finishing touch. How you top your tart can completely change its whole vibe.
And this is where you can have a lot of fun. You can go super traditional with a full pastry lid or a cute little star cutout. If you love texture, a crunchy crumbled topping is an absolutely fantastic choice. Want to get a little fancy? A layer of rich, almondy frangipane feels so luxurious. Or you can just keep it simple and elegant with an open-faced tart. That way, the beautiful, rich filling is the star of the show.
So you've done it. You've explored the history, you've perfected the filling, you've built a flawless tart. Now for the best part, actually serving and eating your masterpiece.
You know, one of the best things about Mince Tarts is just how versatile they are. They are absolutely incredible served warm, fresh out of the oven, but they are just as delicious at room temperature. And that makes them the perfect make-ahead dessert for holiday parties, which just makes your life so much easier.
Now, what do you serve with it? Choosing the right partner is crucial here. The classics are classics for a reason, right? Brandy butter is so traditional and decadent. A little pitcher of warm custard or creme anglaise, that's just pure comfort. And of course, you absolutely cannot go wrong with a simple dollop of whipped cream or a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream.
And to drink with it? Well, to stand up to all those rich, fruity, spicy flavors, you need something with a little oomph. A sweet sherry or a nice tawny port is just a perfect match. Some of those rich dessert wines like a muscat or a tokaji also work beautifully.
And hey, for all your planners out there, here's some good news. Once they're baked, these tarts will keep perfectly in an airtight container for a good 3 to 4 days, so you can get all your holiday baking done and dusted well before any of your guests even think about showing up.
So that brings us to our final thought. When you step back and look at it, the journey of the Mince Tart is just incredible. It started as a savory, meaty centerpiece at a medieval feast, got itself banned for being too much fun, and eventually transformed into the sweet little icon we love today. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How do these ancient recipes manage to survive and change, and how will we keep adapting them in our own kitchens for years to come?